Our next speaker, coming directly from Ecuador, but actually from Spain, so she will tell us exactly from where. She does a hobby that I think that not many people here in Postgres community do it. She is a belly dancer, and she does pottery. So maybe we can find a combination of people who can do at least one of the two. And she's going to be talking about a love story, a love story, going from MongoDB to PostgreSQL. So please welcome Valeria Haro.
Thanks, Boris, and thanks for coming. I hope that you enjoy the romantic stories, because I am going to use love to reflect our feelings, our emotions, where we are choosing a main database. And it is related with the two popular databases that are PostgreSDB and MongoQL. Let me introduce myself. I am Valeria Haro, and I guess that the most important thing is that I have been working in Datamaran company for 8 years. So that's the reason why I can share the story today. So as I mentioned, the stages of love reflects directly in the way that we feeling when we were choosing our main database. In a human relationship, when you found someone, this person that has good qualities, you think that you are compatible with them, is matching perfectly with what you are looking for, you just fall in love. You have high expectations about this partner, but once you begin the relationship with this partner, you realize that nothing is perfect. you analyze the things, and now you're entering a disillusioning stage where you just know that this partner has weakness and strengths. And it's in this stage where you need to decide. Continues with the relationship. If you love it, you just accept your partner as it is, and it means that you found your true love. But if not, just break the relationship and continues looking for. So for context, the Datamaran company has been founded 11 years ago with one idea to use data to help people in the sustainability topic. So this idea was unique in that moment, and it was in building. So we wanted build a product that is flexible, is adapting to how the evolution of this topic is going, and of course, we wanted a database that is flexible as well and provide us a faster prototyping. It's easy to use, and obviously, as it was a startup, we wanted something that is cheaper. So when the questions about who database we will choose, we have a lot of options, but as our main requirement was the flexibility, we just fall in love with Mongo database. We started the relationship with a Mongo Atlas database. And let me share with you what we love for this partner. In reality, we received what they propose with this database. Now we have a flexible schema. I have the sample here that we have different elements in the same collection. I have a collection that is organization, but inside that collection, I can have documents like this one that is for a lucrative organization that contains the industry, where is this organization based, the name. But in a special case, only for United States, I need to save the CA key value that is identifier for them. So I can have these different models inside the same collection and not created null values. And additionally, I can have NGOs in the same collection that only contain few common values with it. Which more we love, that we can quickly prototype everything. As you can see here, we create documents that contains our data that we require for charts that is showing to the clients there. So we don't need to compute or calculate it when a client goes to the application. We just have the data already there ready. So it is really faster to read and write. Additionally, as we were prototyping this, normally we started with the idea, okay, I wanted a model that is just reflecting a one-to-one relationship, like in a relational database. But it was really easy for us just change it to a one-to-many relationship. It was just a DB update script that convert the object or the string to a write of objects or a write of a string. And it was just directly doing in the database. And in the application side, we didn't know that it was changed because the query still is valid. Another thing that we really appreciate for MongoDB is the TTL index. It helps us a lot to automatically set up archives or clean up in our collections. You just need to set up a timestamp field in the collection, and it is going to work automatically, as I mentioned. And this TTL index and not having to take care about the schema changes or managing the schema just make us that we can create easily a recovery process. If the user deletes something, just in special cases, we just move that documents directly to a trash database. And we keep it there for 30 days using the TTL index. And it was really useful for some special case where the user don't want it to delete, and we need to just go to this database and recover the data if the user made any error. Let me continue. Additionally, I will say that MongoDB is always up to date with what the market needs. They provide us Mongo Atlas search that is based in Lucene. So practically we replace what we have it in Elasticsearch in MongoDB. And they have vector search as well. Another feature that we didn't know that we needed is Mongo Atlas search. And with a few clicks and just writing a query, you have a faster way to create charts, refresh them in a different scheduler, 1 day, 1 week, whatever you need it. And you can embed those charts inside your internal applications or just share that dashboard with the business people. But not everything is perfect. And I am a Latin woman, so we need drama in the stories. And the company start to growing. We have more people, we have more teams working together in new functionalities. Let me show you what we found with the database now. That we found data anomalies. We created those. So as Mongo at the beginning, we thought that it's scheme-less. Nobody need to take about the scheme, right? So it was happening to us. But when we found problems like this, that in theory you are waiting for an integer, but in the application it appears a string, voila, the application is complaining about it, you are getting a lot of errors, and it is happening the same because we were requiring some mandatory fields that is not appearing, so errors again, and not the standard values, blah, blah, blah. Similar things that we know that in a relational database it is easy to fix it because you already force a schema there. But I will say that it was our issue in the company because we understand badly what is MongoDB. And MongoDB already provides something that it's called schema validation rules. So you can use this functionality to define the schema and trying to avoid this error. But obviously, you continue having the flexibility to add in whatever you need, and the new things can bring this problem to you. And the database was growing. We need to link data. And in Mongo database, you have two approaches to do it. One is using the lookup operator. So it means simulate the join in a relational database. But the problem with that one is that it was too slow, bad performance. And just MongoDB did some improvements in 2021, but we are using longer database. So we just go for the second approach to link data, that is embedding. It means that you duplicate data. You have a document, and if you link to another one, you just copy the data that you needed for this and put inside your document, and you have in one document everything you needed. And it is totally fine. And we didn't realize even that we have an automatic process that create historical data for us. I am having here a sample. We are having the Facebook database, Facebook company, sorry, that if I execute some years ago, my sustainability analysis taking this company in mind, I will have my sustainability data with the name of the company Facebook. But we know that the company changed the name a few years ago. And what we do, update in the organization, right? What is the problem? Those documents are not updated. If I create a new sustainability analysis now, it is going to appear Meta Platform. So if I wanted to do any analytics over the sustainability analysis to see how many times I am using meta platforms in the sustainability analysis, you are going to get a ground response there. So it's easy, and I will say that it's okay in this case because it's just data changing, no? But sometimes the problem is that users made errors and they enter wrongly the data. So if we need to fix, we need to know where organizations are using to trigger update synchronization in all of these documents. So it is hard to maintain. And obviously, we know that in a relational database, we don't need to take care about this because we have foreign keys. And it happens the same for a delete. So if I delete now this company, and if I don't control well my scripts to delete it from all the sustainability analysis, it is going to still appearing. And it is just creating about the data consistency. So we have too many scripts to validate the data across the database, but we were just seeing that it was not something that we can continue maintaining. And another big problem when you have developers that doesn't matter about database is that we just have data models out of control. What it means, as they wanted just to read and write directly for what they needed in the interface, they put documents like this. This is one simple one that I found, because if not, they don't enter in the screenshot. But even you can see it, that we have one array that is containing objects. This object contains array again, object again that contains array, that contains objects. That's crazy. So it is fine in some cases if you just read and write the data, but if you wanted to query something in the nested values, when you have multiple nested levels, it's a really problem for performance. And finally, what I could say is that for the developer experience, MongoDB don't provide a good solution for us because we are using Mongo Atlas, and all the key things that we have, like triggers or the Atlas search or the vector search, is depending of this cloud environment. So what it means that if we wanted to deploy something for a developer locally, we cannot do it. And that's a really problem. So what we have right now is just a shared environment. All developers sharing the same one. And obviously it causes conflicts because if you delete something that the other is waiting for, it's a really pain. So what you can see now is that in reality, Datamaran growth as a company, the requirements just changed. We are not focused now in a flexible schema. What we need is a data consistency and data integrity, and obviously something that helps us to fix this problem with environments. And something more that it's adaptable with the new data types that we are using it. So it was not hard to choose the next partner. Let me tell you what we are loving now for Postgres Libby. We are just falling in love. And we have databases templates in Postgres. So it helped us a lot to create those local environments that we were dreaming. We have Docker machines that is just creating this template, and everyone has the database in their environment. And we have, with this same feature, we just integrated this process inside the Bitbucket pipeline. So everything now is testing in our repository. So we don't need to take care about the bugs appearing or so, because we are having a robust system now. And we are using it, something that is risky, but for now is good for now, that is logical replication. So sometimes data import when you are running some special test. So to avoid bugs, to have a special environment is really equal to what you found in production. We have a pre-production environment using replication. And obviously, we are just now discovering a lot of extensions. For now, we are just using pgcrypto, pgvector, and pgcron. And yeah, it was not a really easy decision because we have too many challenges to move from MongoDB to Postgres database. The first main problem is that our application was a lack of data layer. So it means that anything that we wanted to migrate to Postgres needs to recreate the code and obviously design the data as well. Right now, what we have is just applications that are using the two databases to don't break our systems. We are not using migration tools because what we saw in the market is that normally the behavior is in the other side, know that the people is moving from Postgres, some data to MongoDB, but we are in the other way around, so we created ad hoc scripts. And we had to depreciate the functionality that I mentioned for recovery and soft-delete, because now in Postgres is something that we can manage, but we need to spend more time and more effort to make it work. And finally, the developers obviously need to adapt with a new database, new way to think in design data, in how to use queries and so on. We are using Postgres for almost 2 years now, but we don't found too much problems there. Just what I can mention is that we need now to manage the users, and we know that the way that it's doing in Postgres is that the user is the one that creates the resource, is the owner of the resource. So we need to understand that concept, but now it's got it. And another problem that we have is with the connections handling, having maximum connections in the application. We were just saving now in the application side. And as I mentioned, having this logical replication is a risk. And at the beginning, when we were applying this system, we just made an error and we were having a problem for a couple of hours. Fortunately, we just not having a lot of applications in that moment in Postgres, so we were fine. So to finalize, let me tell that we just think now that we found our true love with PostgreSDB. And we just are doing better things, because I guess that even in a human relationship, when we have errors with your previous partner, you are trying to do it better with the next one. And what we learn is that myth that is that we have MongoDB like a schema-less is grown. You need to define a schema in a way to don't have the problems that I have mentioned today. Obviously, teach to the developers the best practice to use any database is always something that is going to be in favor for you. And finally, what I don't want to conclude is that Postgres is better than Mongo. That's not true. Or that Mongo is better than Postgres. That's not true either. I guess that it's just different databases for different use case. We are still using the both ones. And I would say that MongoDB was really useful for us when we were a small company, prototyping, just focusing on a small domain. So it is really a good one in those cases. But now that we need a centralized database, we have a solid product, and we are prioritizing the data integrity and the data consistency, is Postgres your partner. So thank you very much. I am now open for questions.
Thank you, Valeria. And we have time for questions. Does anybody has a question? Just raise your hand. Otherwise, I have a few questions. I'm going to start. So when you were discussing about MongoDB being able to do some type checks with the schema checks, but you realized a little bit later, are you using something like that in the JSON objects in Postgres, or you are just using columns and data types that guarantee those kind of checks?
We are avoiding to use JSONs inside Postgres, and we are trying to normalize everything. But as I mentioned, we are still having a hybrid system. So everything, all the data in reality is in PostgreSDB now for some systems. But after it, what we are doing is just synchronize it, documents at the end to MongoDB. So the application is still consuming Mongo to just don't change too much code for now, because it's a big challenge, move data and code at the same time.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Yeah, here.
What about your write performance? You know, the Postgres doesn't have built-in sharding feature. Did you notice any observable decrease in your write latency?
No, in reality, we don't having performance problems. What the unique thing that I realized is about size. I thought that in Mongo we are duplicating data, right? So I thought that it was the database in Mongo should be bigger, but no. Now in Postgres it's bigger because we are creating multiple data in different tables. And that's the unique difference in latency and those kind of things. We don't have problems. We are still using cloud for it, and in the same regions also, so we are not having problems there.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Okay. So once again, we are going to give our nice handmade key ring to our speaker, and we thank her once again. So thank you, Valeria.
Thank you very much.